How's it going, ladies and bruisers? I'm Bobby6Killer and welcome back to Tyranny. Now, I've been given this place an extra once over off camera just to make sure I don't miss too much. So yeah, you haven't missed anything. I've just been going through and ransacking the buildings that had nobody that mattered in them and picked up all the free shit. So all we really got was a bow for our Scarlet Fury. And that's pretty much what we found. I think we're going back into that dungeon now, if I can remember where it is. Because I think that's where we're meant to be heading. And I think that's in here, isn't it? So we can fight the, what are they, the Brotherhood of Bronze or something like that. It's been a lot of this one, unfortunately. But we're getting back into it right now. I just thought it'd be many loading screens going in and out of fucking small buildings. It'd just be best to get that done. Now, we didn't explore very deep in here because I figured this was kind of important. Doesn't seem to be a way to open the door from this side. I'm very curious to see what is up here. Hopefully the spire. I hope this goes to the spire because I want to take over that other one. And hopefully kick someone off the top of it again. That would be a dream come true.
I'm seeing a lot in this room I'd like to sketch. But we should keep moving.
Okay. You'd like to sketch. Oh, this room's intimidating, it's so big. This chamber immediately reminds you of Ascension Hall. An intricate rune running along the floor can only mean one thing. You stand at the feet of the Great Spire. Each step you take echoes across a great distance. As you gaze upward, the sage-coloured walls quickly give way to unending blackness. The rune in the centre of the floor is inactive, and the silence of the hall offers no clues as to its use or function. You feel a slight tug in your chest, a faint echo of the energy that enveloped you at Vendrian's well. Hold a moment. Landry bellows the comment louder than needed, smiling as he hears his voice echo through the massive chamber. If my sense of direction is at all reasonable, we're standing below the spire in this region. What do you recommend? Landry points at the pattern on the floor. I'd start with the grooves and stones on the floor over there. If it's like the spire at Vendrian's well, whomever built this created a mystical conduit to the top. And I'd think it very, very unlikely that the pattern is purely decorative. Let's press on.
If I had a copper ring for every glyph I've sketched.
Oh shit. How are we meant to... Ooh, hang on. How are we meant to figure this out? Let's see. Interesting rune. Take charcoal rubbing. Pressing charcoal to the parchment, you hear a blurry but proportionate image of the ancient relief. Looks like we got more of the symbol. One more and it should be complete. Okay.
Sorry, can't.
Where the fuck am I meant to find that? I can't turn the camera around, can I? Can I get up here? No. Well, that's a pain in the ass. Maybe it's back this way? Hang on, let's just look at our thingy-me-jiggies. Stirring visions. Examine the mysterious rubbing. While exploring, you acquire a charcoal rubbing. Perhaps examining the rubbing might further help you determine its importance. So is it in our inventory? Is it like key items? How the fuck does this work? Let's see. Can't see it. Is it this? No, it's a sigil. Well, I don't fucking see it. Item type. Okay, I have no idea how to examine that. No idea whatsoever. Is it in here somewhere? Spire upgrades. Edicts. Missives. Huh. Oh, hang on, what do we got here? Siren songs. I haven't seen this before. When combat starts, Siren will begin singing one of her songs. Oh, okay, that's the The new character we just recruited. Hokey cokey, I get it. I feel you. I don't know how to examine this thing. It must be in our inventory somewhere, surely. Quest items. It must be a quest item. Incomplete charcoal rubbing. Okay, so it's a star. A proportion of unknown sigil has been recorded on the scroll. The charcoal imprint is rough and incomplete, leaving the full design a mystery for now. After examining the rubbing, you found that it was only a partial image of a symbol that was reminiscent of the one you saw in Ascension Hall at Vendrian's Well. Continue your search to determine what its significance might be, or search for more of the image. Alright, looks like we're going to have to go back, because I can't see anything else for that image here. And I want to take over another spire, and then we've got to go and talk to the disfavored boss and the Scarlet Chorus boss. I think we're trying to defuse the war, but right now I'm more worried about building my own power. Who gives a shit about the war? Right now. That we kind of started anyway. It was kind of our own fault. Kind of our own fault. I can't deny that it was kind of our fault. I mean, I don't care, but it was kind of our fault. What's in... No. It looks like you should go in there, but you can't. Well, that's a big hairy dick, isn't it? Big hairy dick. Okay. Well, that's not very fucking helpful. I don't see anything. Maybe we'll just go back in the other room quickly. I didn't press the button to check if for all the interactable items, so we'll just do that quickly. If it's not in there, then I guess we're going to have to move on? I don't know. We have to move on. That would suck ass, but I guess we do what we gotta do. Yeah, I can't see anything. Which is unfortunate. Hang on, I might just cut here and I'll have a quick look around. I don't want to waste too much of your time. And if I can't find anything, we'll move on. And if I can, then you'll know. Alright, be right back. Okay, I've done another full sweep of this place and I cannot find anything about another rubbing. So, we're going to go to Hearth. I've decided we're going to move on. I'm not going to hang around here too long. I've tried looking. We've got the 2 rubbings. We've got 2 rubbings so far, but I guess we need 3. Because we got 1 in the last episode and 1 in this episode. I don't... Oh, can we move on to... Oh, that's where we were. That doesn't fucking help me. Alright, we go to Hearth. Because where's the Scarlet Chorus camp? Or can we not go there yet? When do we do this burning library? Oh well. Hearth. 3 days, 19 hours. Let's go. We can always come back and finish it up. It's not a major. We tried. We tried. That's what matters, right? And trying's the first step towards failure. We failed. Hearth. Didn't even get jumped on the way. That's surprising. I was expecting to get jumped on a bunch of new equipment from that place. They're probably bad luck. For low-level dudes. You know. you know. You feel me, dog. Okay. They're having a fight over there or something? To Hearth. Oh. Now we're going to be here for the whole episode, looting. I would imagine. Why can I not loot that? Let me loot. Douchebag. Douchebag. What's this? Bronze guitar.
Spotted something.
Yeah, what's that? Oh, hello. Ooh. Yoja's calling. Bronze great axe? That's an axe? 11 arcane. Well, we better check that out. I thought it was a fucking staff. It's an axe. It's an axe? Are we sure? Sigil of life regenerating. DPS is crap though. Nah. It does 11 arcane. Just does arcane. Is it good on you? 8 frost base, 9. 6. Well, this looks better than the stuff. Yeah, okay, whatever. Doesn't look like an axe. Not really. Should be good on you, I think. Man, this place is going to be great to ransack. Got lots of people to talk to.
You learn something every day.
Oh, level ups. My favourite. Oh, it's so exciting when it happens. Okay, smoky. I was thinking about finesse. Because finesse gives us more offense. More accuracy. This gives us defense and damage. This gives us accuracy and parry and deflection. I think it's going to be important on him because he's not really a tank. I want him to be quite fast, like her. Not as fast as her, obviously. Yeah, we'll pump one into finesse. Did someone else have a level up? Don't actually know. Don't think they did. Okay, smoky. You got so many options for this. Slice. Move faster in combat. Replace dodge with parry while defending against ranged attacks. Ooh, that could be good. Add bonus accuracy and damage to attacks made from stealth. Nah. Nah. Add stun effect to Sunder. Oh, I want that. As well. I kind of like the, this one. The ranged attacks. Replace dodge with parry. Because our parry's pretty high. Ah, fuck it. We'll go with concentrated force for now. Come back to that later. Alright. Who do we talk to around here? Who's in charge? You? You look like you're in charge of glowing purple. Greetings, Fatebinder. Arkalos. 32nd Legion. The soldier salutes. Glad to see Tunon's agent grace Iron Hearth. Ash's troop has no lack of order, but a servant of the court is always welcome. Between our missing commanders and a Scarlet Chorus lieutenant pinned down, I'm afraid we have our hands full. I suppose I could spare a moment for conversation. You need something from me? Tell me about the Scarlet Chorus lieutenant. Seems our troops have this little maggot of a Scarlet Chorus lieutenant cornered over at Kado village. From what I'm hearing, it's the same guy who's been ransacking our caravans the past few weeks. If I wasn't already handling something for Ash, I'd go skin the filth myself. You being here simplifies matters. Make sure this lieutenant doesn't leave the village with his life. I'll handle it. Good. Of you to pitch in. No one will mourn the loss of one more chorus rat. More questions? What do you need? Where were you during the conquest? You could say I've been in the seen the tears from top to bottom. I dug latrines at our encampment at the Gates of Judgment. Then my promotion sent me to Lethian's Crossing. Got into a few rows with the Bronze Brotherhood. Not a pretty sight. Then I had a brief deployment at Apex. But the fighting was winding down around when I arrived. After that I did a tour of Stalwart, but got transferred out before the edict tore everything apart. Tell me about your home in the north? I hail from Belmewell, a small hamlet far west of Kairos' capital. It's nothing glorious, but I can trace 6 generations back there, so it's home. I hope to return there someday with a heap of tales, rings, and renown. How did you join the Disfavored? Ahead of the conquest, Graven Ash sent recruiters to the outlying towns looking for worthy talent. The village held a tourney and melee to demonstrate our local muscle. Nothing fancy, mind you. It was mostly fighting on hay bales with wooden spears. I had the distinction of toppling even the biggest contender. A familiar tale, and one after my own heart. Beric nods with respect. It's a good thing I succeeded. I'm more useful to Kairos on the field of battle than a field of wheat. Broken Spear? That's the, yeah, Kado village. Halfway's dead. Hello, Halfway's dead. The disfavored soldier chuckles with disdain at the Scarlet Chorus fighter. Consider it. Not for a second. We pick our soldiers from elite northern families. We don't recruit from flies buzzing over mass graves. Are the disfavored so narrow-minded? My gang's strength delivered us across half a dozen battles, with a line of fallen enemies in our wake. Not many conscripts can say the same. The question is not a matter of your skill, but of your breeding, your training, your pedigree. Noticing you, the Iron Guard salutes. Hail, Graven Ash, Fatebinder. If I might take a moment of your time? What do you need? This person comes representing a Scarlet Chorus gang. What did you call yourselves again? The Grinning Bleeders. We have a lot of stories, reputation in the Scarlet Chorus ranks. Storied reputation. Killers of the highest order, my gang. He puffs up his chest with pride. Before I was a boss here, I ran with the Broken Shirts. Broken Shits, the Salty Nightmares, and Trap Gang. Every one made a name for themselves during the war. You made up at least 2 of those gangs, and don't even bother denying it. Just be careful what names you toss around when there's a former boss standing within earshot, you little pissant. One of his eyebrows snaps to attention. Verse, so kind of you to chime in with your corrections. In any case, he's asking to join the disfavored, which is out of the question. I've explained the numerous reasons why we can't allow it, but the wretch won't listen. Is that accurate? It is. We're not looking for special treatment, just a new beginning. Seeing as we're healthy, fit, and combat ready, the Ironclads should have no reason to refuse us, he sniffs, especially since they're low on numbers. That may be true, but it's no excuse to pollute our respectable ranks with your company. We're more than capable. Put any weapon in our hands or send us on any suicide mission. It'll be a mercy compared to what we face under the voices of Narat. That much is true, at least. There's something to be said for a general who isn't going to gut you in your sleep because it suits his flair for the artistic. That's the first fair words I've heard you speak about, General Ash. Perhaps you're coming around. Then you can count on them being the last, you overfull midden pile. If we joined up, the disfavored wouldn't have to compromise their staunch northern morals. We would take the bloody work off their hands. Did you want me to decide the matter? You must know Kairos' laws back and front. I trust you know our traditions as well. If it peels this lamprey off my backside, I'll allow it. Speaking for my gang, we'll accept your judgment. We're eager to crack some Tearsman's skulls with Kairos' army again, no matter what colour they wear. Let me take your testimony first. Of course I have nothing to hide. Why can't the recruits join the disfavored? Most of us would rather swallow our tongues than take orders from some rigid officer who talked his way into leadership, but to each their own. Where do I start? Not only does the Graven Ash hand-pick his disfavored from the decorated northern stock, he takes a personal interest in our training and education. We are his sons and daughters. To accept anything less in our ranks would hold the very process in contempt. The only capacity they would serve would be in manual labour, hauling wagons or digging latrines, but that's the work of slaves, and not what they've come requesting. Why this interest in the disfavored? Better trading, better quarters, iron weapons. The disfavored have everything we want out of joining the military. We want to serve Kairos to the best of our abilities. Is that asking too much? Old Ironclad here seems to think so. Their respect for command leaves something to be desired. Why'd you leave the Scarlet Chorus? Our old gang boss fell at the last battle of Vendry as well. We saw how the disfavored operate, and we realized it was a chance for a better life. A longer one, too. Desertion happens every day in the Scarlet Chorus. I can tell you, we won't be missed. He says it like he's boasting. Only the shitheel recruits who never make a name for themselves are overlooked at muster. I'm ready to make my ruling. Good. Whatever's fair. We're prepared to stand by it. I consign you to hard labour, hauling wagons and digging latrines. That's a waste of our talent. We could shed so much blood for the disfavored. I agree it's a waste, but these fools should have known better than to turncoat. It always bites you in the ass eventually. Horde maggot. You occupy space and eat our food. Don't presume to complain about your treatment. Fatebinder, I thank you. We could all learn from your practical, calculating approach. Okie dokie. Well, we ruined some people's lives. Let's talk to some more people and make them sad. Kind of you to stop and chat. I'm in a sticky situation and one of my gang is alive or around to... And no one in my gang is alive or around to help me out. Stop wasting the Fatebinder's time. He's got better things to do to listen to some criminal's mewling. I'll be the judge of that. Tell me your problem, soldier. Thanks for hearing me out. The disfavored aren't keen on conversation. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. It's impossible to get a word in edgewise. She glares at her captor. Soldiers caught me outside a breach in the old walls. That's it. I wasn't inside. I had stuck my toe through the threshold, and I wasn't dancing with any bane. I have a healthy relationship with self-preservation. And why were you arrested? You're only hearing one side of the story, Fatebinder. Our scouts observed this wretch readying to enter the old walls. Her account is flawed, her guilt witnessed by multiple trustworthy northerners. The soldier makes a point of standing extra straight when he addresses you. I'm sorry, is readying to enter the best you have? They could have just easily argued that you're readying to get knifed between your shoulder blades, but it doesn't count for shit unless I see blood and bronze. I didn't go into the old walls. Case closed. Before I adjudicate on this matter, I need your mutual cooperation. If you ask me, the prisoner has already been tried and sentenced, but if this little game will silence her caterwauling, then be my guest. I'll stand by your decision. You couldn't land me anywhere worse than this. What were you doing outside the old walls? My gang went inside. As I tried to tell the disfavored clods 100 times over, I shouted myself raw, trying to get them back out, but the gang was having none of it. Our leader discovered the breach and got himself excited over the chance of finding treasure. Try as I might, I couldn't talk him out of it. Soldier, can you speak to this defense? I wasn't there, of course, but I'm familiar with the arrest record. There was no gang, just a lone opportunist out to make her fortune breaking Kairos' laws. The scouts could tell just by looking at her that she was headed for the breach. She's a fiery one. Put up quite a fight when they took her into custody. I have no reason to doubt the charges. What was your gang doing in the old walls? Causing trouble? Looting? No more, no less than what gangs do? Our boss was obsessed with holding his position, which is healthy when you're in the Scarlet Chorus. When he came to the conclusion that the old walls might have some powerful artifacts, he resolved himself to find one at all costs. Funny to see a guy so wrapped up in survival trying to get himself killed. Typical behaviour from someone who isn't confident in their leadership. Makes for a nice self-fulfilling prophecy when their own gang takes them down. See, she understands. Fox trick bows to verse. Any idea where your gang is now? I never saw them make it out of the old walls, so either they did or they didn't. My money's on the latter. If they made it out, they aren't wasting their breath trying to find me, so fuck them. I like the attitude. If I had a mind to recruit, she'd be my second or third. So you had no interest in entering the old walls? Never, I grew up in the tiers. Even we knew better than to go inside the old walls. If not because of Kairos' law, because of the things lurking inside were likely to eat us. But if you can find in the shadow of those ruins, it's not worth the risk. Did your gang cause the breach in the old walls? What, are you kidding me? It would take incredible force or incredible magic to bash through the ancient barrier. We had neither at our disposal. Either one of Kairos' edict or some local mage caused the breach. Whatever ruling you make, don't pin that on me. I'm inclined to agree. Don't make the mistake of giving this one too much credit. I'm ready to make my judgment. Let's have it, then. I hope you've got everything you needed. Alright, let's see what we got. Don't trust your testimony. If you weren't in the old walls... You weren't in the old walls? At the very least, the evidence is insufficient to prove the charges. Let me return to my previous questions. I'd rather not handle this right now. Well, I mean, she was a lookout for them. So, she's still guilty. She's still accessory. Guilty. Is this a fucking joke? Because I'm not laughing. Whether guilty of this or some other atrocity, it makes no difference. She belongs in chains. I'll just bet you're trying to curry favour with the disfavoured. And I'm sitting in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, no, I'm no one's bargaining chip, you hear me? Kairos' knuckles, you babble loud enough to topple a spire. Fatebinder, thank you for your time. If you're a lookout for someone ransacking a place, you're just as guilty as they are. If I was a lookout for a bank robbery, I think I would get in trouble too. You feel me? Alright, what do we got in here? This is oh, look, there's Graven Ash. I should probably explore everywhere else before we go and talk to Graven Ash. That's sort of what we're here for. We'll just have a quick wander about out here. And then we'll come back, talk to Graven Ash. And I guess that'll pretty much bring us to the end of the episode, but... Because conversations always take a long time. Oh, here we go. Man, having high subterfuge is so good. Osmia. You must be the Fatebinder of Tunon, the disfavored Ironwalker bows. Welcome to Hearth. I'm sure that Graven Ash appreciates any help you can offer. Circumstances have a way of coming together so that the disfavored are always stretched thinner than we would like. What can I do for you? Why are the disfavored so overworked? She rubs her palms together and frowns. We're trying to shoulder the brunt of this civil war without the strength of numbers. The Scarlet Chorus can throw 1,000 disposable bodies at an issue without a second thought, but we're forced to be a little more discriminating. We might be trained to deal with the stress of combat and all-night drills, but we're fatigued even by the high standard we set for ourselves. She studies you in a cautious manner. Not that I need to burden an agent of the court with my misgivings. Once the war is over and the tears are properly subdued, my hope is that Kairos dispatches some relief troops to support the occupation. We all deserve a season of rest. The court is always receptive to the needs of soldiers. Your point is noted. That's very generous of you to say, Fatebinder. I'm grateful to know that someone is listening. A nervous smile brightens her expression. Where were you during the conquest? After the Edict of Storms hit, I spent much time among the ruins of Stalwart, digging out survivors from the Legion. Afraid I didn't find much. She glances up at Barrack. You must have moved on by then, or else would have assembled a team to excavate you. My prison moved with me. There's no reason to tarry. He bows his head respectfully. I still think about the brothers and sisters we left behind. Sometimes I can imagine that I hear their voices carry on the wind. I'll be on my way. Man, there's so much to do here. Ooh, gloves. Heavy leather gloves. That could be good. I'll check that out. I always push the wrong button for that. I don't know why. I think I'm just stupid. 15 to 19. Crush. Oh, okay, that's DPS. So deflection 7.2. So it's exactly the same. But these are heavy. I don't understand. What's the point? They're basically exactly the fucking same. Oh, they're good on her, though. Alright. Good armor's more important on you guys, and I don't even have to worry about Barrack's armor, because I can't change it, so that's handy. Okay, you guys aren't nothing. Quartermaster, I assume I can sell and buy stuff from, like usual. Bronze Dagger, I'm not really interested in. Even though you're not fully fledged disfavored recruit, I've been authorized to grant you purchasing rights at our store, with certain limits, of course. Would you like to see what we have to offer? What limits are those? It's nothing personal, I assure you. Graven Ash wants us to control our supplies without restricting access to his army's supporters like yourself. The finest arms and freshest provisions are reserved for the soldiers under his direct command. I'm sure you understand, the Archon takes our protection very seriously. Understood, let's see what you can offer me. That's fair, I don't really care about that. I don't really buy stuff anyway, I just like... no. I just like, looking and selling things. But I never really buy stuff, because you can just find stuff that's just pretty good. The Earthshaker robes are pretty damn good on him. Deflection goes up. I mean, that's all it does, really, I guess, but... I mean, that's not bad, yeah. It's not really worth buying anything there, though. Man, I got so many new weapons to try out. So excited. Can't wait to beat someone up. I haven't beaten anyone up in this entire episode. Kinda lame. Kinda lame. Let's go see Graven Ash. Fatebinder, it's good of you to report in. These days it's difficult enough to judge friend from foe. I'm pleased to recognize you as the former of the two. Ash favors you with a curt nod. I see you've brought the voices of Narat's spying whore to my doorstep. Lest you think me amused by your irresponsible conduct, know that I am not. Verse is a useful ally, I need her at my side. At least until we get tired of each other. Don't worry, old man. I'm not going to drive a blade in your spine, not while you're wearing a breastplate as thick as old walls anyway. Graven Ash glares at Verse and returns his severe expression back at you. His mouth is set to a disapproving line, and he seems to be on the brink of saying more but waves off the matter. After what transpired at Vendrian's Well, the disfavored must hold fast to our allies. You are here because of your support at the siege, but I don't mistake your confidence for devotion. The Scarlet Chorus would not have you. Tunon is my master, he stands above your petty squabbles. If he stood above them, then he could see well enough how the voices of Narat have conspired against our forces since the beginning. No, for all his claims of objectivity, I have my suspicion that your adjudicator is as comprised by this war as any of us. Compromised. What is it you require? How can I continue my service of the disfavored? These are troubled times for all, but none more so than for the forces of Kairos. Our organized defense is splintered, loyalties are challenged at every level of command, and much that we built during the conquest crumbles under its own weight. We had thought the Vendrian Guard were the first, final death rattle of this region's defiance. We were wrong. The Tears have risen up against Kairos, emboldened by their countrymen. And while the disfavored labour to maintain order, the serpent, the voices of Narat, grows his army of lunatics and sellswords, preparing to lash out when we least suspect it. I can only imagine the voices is driving his gangs mad with plots to storm this fortress. There can be no peace while the voices of Narat live, and no order while the Scarlet Chorus rampage across these lands. The elimination of chaos must be our first priority. Then we will have our time to govern the Tears as Kairos intended. Can I depend upon your support against this scourge? What would you have me do? Our position of authority in the Blade Grave is far from secure. We need to establish ourselves in the region in order to cultivate our strength for the battle to come. As soon as I am confident of our chances, we would depart this realm and wipe the Chorus threat from the face of Tyranny. The Unbroken, former daughters, and sons of Stalwart vex our effort to secure this region. The Edict of Storms offers them cover. They slip past our patrols in the light of day, hiding their movements behind clouds of dust and debris. Kairos cast this blight on the country to set an example, not to plague those of us loyal to the north. You must travel to Sentinel Stand, and seek out Stratus Herodin. He is the last of the old Stalwart bloodline, who called themselves regents. Put him to the sword and end this edict once and for all. Why has no one killed Herodin yet? Because he persists in crouching behind the walls of Sentinel Stand. With the Edict of Storms raging around the citadel, no one would be able to enter or exit since the last year of the conquest. No bird or missive has left the wind wall either. The Edict is all the proof we have that Herodin still lives. How do I get through the... Okay, consider him dead. I don't know how to get through it though. Find the last regent, kill him, end this Edict of Storms, and staunch the seeping wound of rebellion once and for all. The downfall of the Unbroken and the old regent will send a message throughout the Tears. Our rule is absolute, and dissidence will not be tolerated. Consider it done. There's one final matter to discuss. My daughter went missing in the second year of the conquest. I have reason to believe she is trapped in the fortress of Sentinel Stand. If you can find Amelia, bring her home to me. How do you know she's in Sentinel Stand? It is the one last location in all of Stalwart we cannot reach. If her detachment of soldiers was taken captive, she would have been placed beyond my power. No doubts for the southern wretches to use for negotiation. His expression twists with distaste. Tell me about Amelia. She has her father's stubborn persistence. She's an excellent fighter, though more brazen and eager to test herself on the field of battle. I have objected to this disposition in the past, but it seems as integral to her being as the very breath she draws. Our relationship has endured its challenges. The last several years, I have been a better general to her than her father. Once the war is over, and she is restored to the Legion, I hope we can find it in ourselves to know each other once more. What makes you think she's still alive? We have travelled together through this fallen, corrupted land. You are no doubt aware of the aegis I extend to my troops. It is the boon I grant my northerners for loyal service and devotion to our shared cause. As my army feels my guardianship, I am keenly aware of them in turn. Their concern, their pain, is my burden to carry as their leader. Amelia is alive. I have awoken at night in cold sweats, my bile rising with violence. What torment she suffers at the hands of those stalwart animals is a mystery. I only want her restored, to heal in the company of the Legion. I'll find her. I'll ensure her safe return, if I find her. That is all I ask. Amelia is but one soldier. Yet, if I had the forces dispatch, I would make her retrieval my highest priority. She is a commander of the highest renown and a paragon of northern values. Fatebinder, I offer you my support on this mission. The Blade Grave is a place of memory. I have left many cohorts buried among the ruins, and no small part of myself as well. Could you elaborate? This matter is a sensitive one, but I fear to speak in the company of the great general, though he doubtless knows it already. Barak attempts to stand tall before Graven Ash. Speak on, son of Barakanan. Nothing I've seen you accomplish in the field has diminished you in my eyes, and I know my soldiers as well as I know myself. Ash nods with approval. I lost countrymen by the hundreds in the last day of the Stalwart campaign, and for my troubles, I became fused in this armor. The Blade Grave is the last place I ever felt human. That is all I'll say about it now. The last Battle of Stalwart was a terrible time, perhaps most of all for you who survived. I mourn those we lost and recite their names often during morning drills. We cannot restore their broken bodies to the north, but we can remember them as they were. You've invested much in this mission, of course you can accompany me. I appreciate that, Fatebinder. Graven Ash is attentive and understanding to each of his troops, and it pleases me to see his example in you. And in you, Armored One, never forget that I found you at the mere germination of your potential, and you have accomplished much in your ensuing years. Thank you, General. Though it's impossible to tell through his helmet, you assume that Barak is blushing. Your map is already marked with the position of Sentinel's stand, and it would take me 100 lifetimes to forget those old walls, or the day the edict shattered our advance. Further questions? What else have we got? Nah. I'm done. Ah, fuck. Farewell. Alright. This is running on very long, so we're going to stop this episode here, and in the next episode I guess we're moving on to Sentinel's stand? Maybe? I don't know, we'll see whatever's closer anyway. And we've got a few missions going at the moment, so... I don't know. We'll do what we gotta do. Ventury and Guard don't like us very much. Neither does the Bronze Brotherhood. We have killed a few of them though, must admit. Oh, we get something on Barak. Iron Storm. Nice. Team attack. Alrighty. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next episode.